Hey y'all, good to see you here on Grassroots Gardening. Check out our big garden down here, y'all. Our corn, that fertilizer, that slow release Harolds that we use has really made this stuff jump. Now we got a few little gaps with some smaller corn in between. You know, we had to come back and kind of fill in a few spots. That corn will be ready a little bit later, maybe 2 to 3 weeks after the initial planting, but still it's looking great. And look at here at the peppers already, you guys. Look at these jalapenos. That's freaking awesome. Oh, great. And I just went and touched them. Now, I'm sure I'm going to touch my face, but I couldn't help it. They're so pretty. Let's walk on down. We got some banana peppers down here, too. Check it out. Now, I just got to remember not to touch my face. So, I'm sure I'm going to do that here momentarily now that I've got jalapeno juice all over my fingers. But the peppers are doing really good. I see some cayennes down there. And holy cow. Look at the tomatoes since last time. So I was at the mountains this past weekend and I didn't see them for a couple of days, but good gracious, you guys, look at these beautiful clusters. This is so exciting. I love to go away for a few days and come back, especially this time of year. So we're early June and stuff is just going off. Look at, look at the amount of tomatoes we got. So we're going to come through here in a minute and use the taping gun. I'm taping them up because they're falling over a little bit. Probably cull some of the tomatoes off back to, you know, 3 to 4 tomatoes per cluster. I stole Dad's cart because, well, I'll just be honest with you, it's got a cup holder and mine doesn't. Got my tapiner, my pruners. We're gonna scoot down through there, see how many we can get done. It's getting a little bit late. It's probably 7:30ish. I don't know. I took my watch off because honestly, it's been a crazy stressful, busy day. My watch gives me all of my text messages, emails, phone calls, and the thing just wouldn't shut up. So I got me something cold to drink, took my watch off. Don't know what time it is, don't care. We're barefoot down here in the garden and we're gonna get us a little bit of plant therapy. Brought some of these bamboo poles down because our dragon's tongue bean is popping up. And this is a pole bean, so I want to go down through here and put a pole at each bean so it can climb up it. Our okra, look how well our okra came up. Now I planted this okra with the little wheeled planter, so it's really too close together. We need to come through here and thin it out a little bit. Let's walk down to the end of this row and see what that jambalaya okra is doing. But before that, look at the squash coming on that we planted just a few weeks back. We are going to have so much squash, there's no way we're going to be able to eat all of this, because even though this is a little baby right now, I guarantee you in about 3 days it'll be almost too big and you won't want to eat it. You want to get it while it's nice and young and fresh, like this guy right here. But holy moly, we are gonna have the squash. And then Dad, I think these are Blue Lake bush beans coming up. He's still got some beets over there. It looks like he's replaced the beets that he's harvested with some peppers over the weekend, so that'll be cool. Let's continue on down this row. This is all Clemson spineless. And then I left a little gap. And then I hand planted the jambalaya okra right here. So you can see it's a little bit further spaced out and doing really well. And then for some reason, unbeknownst to me, we brought home like a whole flat of eggplant. So we've got eggplant all the way down to the squash there. If this produces, we're going to have way more eggplant than I'm going to even know what to do with. But man, I tell you what, the garden is just looking great. Now we have had an issue with tomatoes in this little section right here. And I'll tell you what I think's going on. So I already pulled up 1 or 2 right in here. But whenever I see it traveling from one to the other, it's usually a couple of things. Either I forgot to disinfect my cutters as I was going along and maybe passed a virus, but more than likely this section of the garden has got some pathogen in the soil, whether that be bacterial or fungal, and it's finding its way from tomato to tomato. And I've seen this in the past. I'm pretty sure, you know, I sanitized my clippers really good when I was going down through here pruning them. So I think probably this section of the garden right here has some form of bacterial wilt or fungal wilt. So what we need to do, I'm not going to do it today because I don't want to touch these and then go touch the healthy ones down there. Tomorrow we'll come in here, rip these up, and just dispose of them. Burning them is the best thing, but you know, that's kind of, they don't burn all that well because they're green we're probably just going to take them over in the woods and chunk them. But that's been my experience in the past, because it usually affects just one little area of tomatoes. That's why you want to get them out of here and get them gone, and make sure you sanitize as you're going down through your tomatoes and pruning. But buddy, I tell you what, these healthy celebrity tomatoes down through here just look absolutely amazing. Oh, and check it out, the funky ones that you and I planted a few weeks back are doing good. And it looks like, unfortunately, oh, okay, nope, good, we still got a tag, thank goodness, because we planted one of each, if you'll remember, of some funky varieties, so we really needed tags. Looks like we might have lost this guy right here and that one there, but remember, they were teeny when we planted them, so I'm actually surprised that we got this many to survive. And Dad's got some more peppers down here. Corn is looking wonderful. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and work on the tomatoes first, because that sun is setting pretty quick like. But I want to get, these are a beefsteak tomato right here, and we definitely want to get them cleaned up, because we've got too many suckers on this tomato plant, and they're touching the ground, which is a big no-no, because that's how you're going to get some easy funguses when the rain comes down, splashes dirt and water up on the leaves, and it can really jump on them. So we're going to clean this guy up a little bit and go down through here and see which others need staking, which others need culling. I really want 2 main leaders coming up on my tomatoes with clusters in about 3 or 4. We're going to start off, for the reasons that I've already mentioned, taking some 70% alcohol and just dousing our clippers to get them good and sanitized. And bad as it pains me, we have to come in here and we're going to remove that whole section right there, because it's a sucker and it's going down and touching the ground, which we do not want. We got another sucker right there. This one, since it already has fruit on it, I'm going to come out here far on the branch and get rid of that growing section. This is a sucker, we're going to get rid of him. We'll leave this cluster of 3 tomatoes and it'll be just fine. The plant will continue to support it, and we won't have to worry about those suckers going down to the ground. Here's another one that's down low. I want to focus on, again, having 2 to 3 main runners coming up from the tomato plant. So this guy way down here, he's got to go. These beefsteaks are really bad about just sending suckers up from everywhere, and a sucker is any main growing point that comes up between a leaf of the tomato and the actual stalk of the tomato. I'll show you a better example right here. So this is our main stalk coming up. This little bitty guy right here is a sucker, and then to the untrained eye you would think, you know, why would I want to get rid of this? But there's your main stalk, there's the leaf, there's the main stalk again. So this right here would be a sucker. There's another one popping up, a little young one. I'm going to get rid of him. But look at all these suckers in here. That's a sucker. That's a sucker. Again, anywhere in between a leaf and your main stalk, if you get some new growth, that's a sucker. You can allow them to grow if you want to, but again, if you have 50 million tomatoes on this plant, she can only get them so big. So if you come in and you remove some of these suckers, that's another one right there, and you cull it down to 2 to 3 tomatoes per cluster, you'll get much bigger fruit. You can let it grow and it'll be fine, but you're going to get smaller fruit because the roots down there and this plant can only support so many tomatoes at one time. Here's a sucker trying to come up through the middle. Here's another. We're going to get rid of those. Now we've got it down to two main leaders. Another sucker. So we've got this main leader and we've got this main leader. So now we can slide this this holder up, and I apologize because this system, some of you guys have asked me about it. A local guy makes them. It's just a simple yellow metal pole, but then he's got a patent on these little tomato holder things right here. So I don't think they're selling them on the internet yet. We sell them down at the garden center, so if you live close, we still have some at Grassroots. But unfortunately, I can't provide a link because I don't think he's selling them online yet. But super neat. They're 20 bucks a piece, but that comes with, I think, 2 or 3 of the actual little clips here. You can see his patent pending number, and you can use them over and over and over. So it might seem like a little bit of money, but they sure do make the garden look nice and clean. They're very sturdy and they hold the tomatoes up. But again, sorry I can't put a link for you guys that aren't close enough to come buy them from the garden center. But I just figured I'd put that in the video because some of you guys were asking. And I'm going to take this little clip, slide it up a little bit, and that'll hold that nicely right there. We've got him pruned up pretty good. Now we're going to move on down and do the same thing to every single tomato plant, or as many as we can before the sun sets. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that's just what the doctor ordered for me. That was some good therapy time. We got the tomatoes looking much better. We're able to make it down to the end of the yellow stakes, and yes, I went ahead and picked me one that's not all the way right, but I got a pack of bacon at home and I'm really craving a BLT with some Duke's mayonnaise. But I tell you what, before long, I mean, it ain't gonna be long at all, we're gonna have all the red tomatoes that we want to eat. But we got them all taped up, or either you use these little clips right here, pruned up some of the clusters. Missed that one right there. I should have got him off because he's kind of blemished. But for the most part, we ran down through here, got them all taped up, got them pruned up. I think in, like I said, in a few weeks, we are gonna have a ton of beautiful red ripe tomatoes. I mean, just look at some of these clusters, you guys. They are just beautiful down through there. See one turning orange right there? Oh man, it won't be long now. Some of them I even had to come in here and tie up the actual cluster because this guy was touching the ground, and he'll surely rot if he makes contact with the ground. But man, I tell you what, I'm pretty happy for the most part. They're all super healthy. And I did want to mention one thing down here. So with these guys that I explained to you guys just a little while ago of why I think they're sick, what you can also look for when you're purchasing your tomatoes, on the tag, it'll have a bunch of letters down at the bottom. It's usually V, F, N, T, T, all kind of stuff. Those are all of the viruses or diseases that tomato is resistant to. Now, not bulletproof to, just resistant to. You have, I think there's verticulum wilt, bacillium wilt, tomato mosaic virus. There's a slew of them, and tomatoes, unfortunately, are just very susceptible to disease. But if you can find one with the most letters on there, it's going to help, you know, ward off some of these diseases. It won't totally eliminate it, but it'll at least help. And then something else I've been experimenting with is grafting tomatoes. So I've got a video, I'll put it at the end of this one if you want to check it out. But I took and grafted some tomatoes to a rootstock that is super resistant to a lot of stuff, and we had some great success there. Didn't do it this year, just didn't have the time. But that's another thing you can look for, is grafted tomatoes if you're having a lot of problems like we are a little bit right now. But if you're having a ton of problems with it, you may want to look at grafted tomatoes. Well guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me on this video and all the videos that you do. The more you know, the more you grow. Hit that thumbs up down there for me. Leave me a comment. If you want to share a picture of your garden on our Facebook page, it's Grassroots Garden Center. Love for you to drop a picture on there. Other than that, y'all have a great evening. See you on the next video.